Hey guys, welcome back to Chord for Christ. Joseph here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you 10 guitar chord shapes that every Christian guitarist should know, part 2. All right, so let's get into it. All right guys, 10 chord shapes, all right? And these chords, I know they're going to blow you away, how simple, how easy they are, and how you can move them up the neck. Very simple with whatever chord progression you're trying to do or whatever style of music you're doing. I guarantee you 100% you're going to see these chords, or maybe you have seen these chord shapes already in your worship set list and your songs and whatnot. And so I'm going to kick it off with the first chord, which is a chord over bass. So if you ever seen a 1/3 or a D over F sharp, it's a very simple way to play it, right? So you have this shape right here. Right, this is the D, your D chord, over the bass note, which is the F sharp. It's a beautiful chord, but in certain keys, this shape won't really work as well. So if you ever seen it, a C over E or a G over B or a over C sharp chord, you're probably scratching your head, okay, how do I play that if this shape doesn't work? You could probably bring it up so you have your A, so your A triad chord, and then your C sharp is right there. Right, you could probably do that, but a simpler way to do it to get transitions into that would be to play it here. So you have your A chord, right, and then the bass note, C sharp right there, and you can move that up. Right, this would be a D over A flat, a C over E, F sharp over D, right there, this chord right here, and so on. You can move that up however you want, and that works. That works. There's a song that I played this Sunday that goes, right, and F, C over E, A minor 7 into a G, right? So that C over E is right there, right in the middle of that progression. And so it's very simple, very easy. So memorize that, because you're gonna see a 1/3 chord, and I give you any song that you find, especially in worship. All right, so that's your first chord. Your second chord is a sus chord, and I'm pretty sure you've heard like a G sus or a C sus chord. Well, all that is short for suspended. And so I'm not going to get into that much theory, but if you know your major scale, right? So in this case, in the key of C, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then your octave C. So if you use that as numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, your A is always your octave. So a C sus chord, or a sus shape, is basically adding your fourth. So you have your 1, your 5, your octave, and then, which is this note, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is your F. And all you're doing is barring that like that. So that's a C sus 4 chord, or a C sus chord. Now, if you have this stretch that I don't have yet, you can play it like this, right? You can play your pointer, middle finger, ring finger, and your pinky. I don't do that. I just bar it like that. Very simple. So that's your second chord shape, and that moves up too. D sus, E sus, F sus. Whenever you see a sus, all you do is adding your fourth to it. So your third chord now goes into like gospel, different passing tones and whatnot. But you can still use it to be creative, and I've seen this in many worship songs that I've played so far. So on the root, on your E string, you have a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Right, it sounds very jazzy, but those are used in worship. And then on the A string, right, you have that same chord, that same shape like this, and those move up. So that's a minor 7 flat 5. Then you have your diminished chord. Now, most of the time, if not all the time, you'll probably use this shape to transition from one chord to the next, sort of give it a flavor. So if we're in G, right, and you're going from the 5 to the 6, so this is the 1, the 5, right, that right there is your diminished. So to play that chord, it just looks like this on the A string. And then on the low E string, it looks like this. So that sort of would apply the same way if you're using a progression, like say in the key of C. And you want to get from the 5 to the 6. It'll work the same way. All right, so moving on, then the next chord is a major 9 chord. Now don't get confused with a add 9 chord, which I'll show in a minute, but a major 9 chord looks like this. Very beautiful, very nice, and I've seen this more than often now in gospel songs where you're seeing a C9 or C major 9. That's not the same as a C add 9. But this is a major 9 chord, and you can move this up. All right, so then moving on, this is another beautiful chord. This is where we get into the add 9 chord. So you have your regular major chord, right? Again, with the major scale, it's really helpful. If you don't know that, there's a video right here that you can click on how to play the major scale. Right, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're doing, which is your 2, it's just an octave higher. What we're doing is moving this note, the octave, to that 9th note. And you get this beautiful add 9 chord. So this is a G add 9 chord. Now you could play this in different voicings, like this right here. You still have your 1, your 3rd, and your 5th, which consist of the chord, but you have your 9 there, which is your A. So you could play this like this, just another voicing. But I usually play add 9 chords, especially on the bass notes, like this. It just sounds full, it sounds beautiful. And you could play it here. So this is in the key of C now. D is your 9th note. So where you find that D, that 9th note is right here. And so you would there too. And so last but not least, this is, I wouldn't say it's rare, but a major 6 chord. I think I've played it in the past 2 set lists that I've had, that I've played in worship, and there are different variations of them, but the most common one is this one. And you can use, so whenever you see a major 6 like that, there's a difference between an add 6 versus a C major 6, and just like the 9th chord, there's a major 9 and an add 9. There's 2 different chords, and different shapes too. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what you would find, and then so you would add that. You know, so you guys have it, 10 chord shapes, right? I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a part 3. But these chords are really helpful. These chords helped me. They're gonna help you learn them, memorize them, know them, because they're gonna help you in the long run. And so if you haven't checked out that first part, here's the link right here. You can just click that link right there. So yeah, these chords are gonna help you build a foundation for you, a structure, so that when a note comes or a chord comes and you see it as a 1/3 or it's diminished or a sus chord, you know exactly what you're playing. You're not guessing. You're not just trying to learn or trying to figure out. When you go to Google, there's a whole bunch of different chord shapes. This is just the basics, the foundations, the structure that I'm trying to give you so that you can be a better guitar player. But not only as a rhythm player, but also as a lead player, because those chords could sound really great with some distortion, some drive, some effects on it. So I hope you like this video. Leave a comment below. Maybe you learned a new chord. What was the chord that stood out to you? What was your aha moment? It was like, oh, that's how you play this chord. You know, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to know your thoughts. And subscribe if you like this content. I really do appreciate it. Helps me out, helps the channel out, and it helps YouTube to recognize that, hey, I'm there. All right? So until next time, remember, keep changing the tuning of the world one string at a time. God bless.